today we're gonna strip out the rest of the interior. We're gonna fix a little more rust on here, and I also have to replace all of this after taking a needler to it. It just blew a bunch of holes in it, so we're gonna clean that up as well. And we might be taking it outside, sandblasting out of the nooks and crannies. Otherwise, we're just gonna jump right into it. Alright, we're going to dress some of our welds right here. I welded this front clip on probably, a year ago or something like that. We're going to sit there and we're going to clean the rest of that up, coat it, get it all ready for some epoxy primer, and then we're going to kind of move along and dress up anything else that we have going on that I welded on previously. So let's jump right into it. Alright everybody, so I'm just going to kind of go through a little bit of my tools that I'm using to clean up some of this rust on the underside of the 65 Bug. So what you guys have probably seen me using a lot of is going to be my angle grinder with a wire wheel on it. The effectiveness of that is minimal. I mean, it's good to take off material without sacrificing the actual abrasive. I mean, this wire wheel will last probably forever for the most part if you treat it correctly. But it's very slow. But like I said, but for the cost of it, I mean, $20 for a grinder, probably another $5-10 for the actual wire brush. I mean, you can't really go wrong there if you just need to clean off some some surface, paint, corrosion, whatever it is. The wire brush will probably do you just fine. If you need to go into something a little bit heavier, I mean, what I've been using, and I like these a lot more, but the cost of it is going to be a lot higher, is going to be, I'm using this little 2-inch pad on the angle grinder, and it's actually a clean and strip wheel. I believe, get a little focus on that. So it's basically just like a web puck looking deal. And let's get back in focus. And so basically what this does is it's this web puck, and it's gonna leave about a 60 grit scratch in it. But when you go over your material, it kind of digs down into your metal, cleans it off very well, but it doesn't actually like really mess it up. It's pretty nice, where when I was using my wire brush, I would hit a rough spot. It looks like it cleans it up. I go back over it with this and it'll blow even more, rust off it. So I would say this is a lot more effective and it's a little bit quicker, but you're gonna need a compressor, an angle grinder. I mean, this one is like 60 bucks from Home Depot. You can go all the way up to, a couple hundred, depending on which one you get. And then these pucks are probably a few bucks every time you use one, but they do last a long time. 3M makes one. It's, I believe, in their new XT series. They're called Clean and Strip XT or something like that. They come in purple and green, and I believe the green's a little more aggressive, but man, do they last forever. I mean, this one I put to use pretty good. It's been lasting me a while too, but when you get those certain spots or you use it a lot, you'll eventually start breaking apart and throwing chunks. Just like their old ones, you'll see those black webbed ones. You might find them at Harbor Freight or Menards, wherever you guys buy your stuff. You notice those fly apart a little bit easier. At least that's what I've noticed. I mean, I can feel them hitting my chest, just breaking off. These ones, I never really notice it. It just slowly wears down and it works great. Now, another great thing too, let's say you don't have a compressor, you don't have anything like this, but you have an angle grinder. Well, boom, you can actually get those for an angle grinder. And again, these things will last a long time, but with being on the angle grinder, it's gonna be so aggressive that these ones will probably break apart. I won't say break apart, but wear out a lot faster. But again, these things are just amazing for removing, whether it's paint, rust, primer, any type of, material that's on top of the surface of that metal. These will clean it up really well. Especially like me, I just hate sandblasting. I don't want to get into any of that BS on trying to hit the nooks and crannies. Then when you're done, you have to try to get all the, little nooks and crannies cleaned out with the sand, and then all of a sudden you're about to paint, then you see sand blowing up everywhere. I mean, it's just a pain. So where these kind of come in handy, you don't have to try to sit there and blast everything. These actually work really well. All right, guys, I'm just gonna jump right back into it. Hey everybody, today I'm gonna get back onto it. So the reason why I just despise doing any type of sandblasting is because when you do sandblast, you get this really great, clean surface here that you can, paint and everything sticks right to it, and it's all, rust free. But the problem that I have is after blowing everything out, as well, see it all over, as after blowing everything out, vacuuming it for probably 30 minutes straight. But I mean, you can look at it, this has a very clean, you can see a couple spots here, might be down here, might have some darker spots, but at the same time, there's no rust. All my paint, the rust was cleaned off. I'm gonna have to do it again. I ran out of sand, but this is kind of what I ended up with. And on top of that, I have these pieces coming back, or they're coming in here shortly. So you can see why I hate doing sandblasting. It's really great and effective, but the problem is you're gonna get a lot of just debris. As you can see down here on the floor, you're gonna get a lot of debris just hanging around. I mean, I could turn this thing over probably like 5-6 more times, and sand's just gonna nonstop fall out. So I'll probably go around with my vacuum again, sand or air blower, blow as many areas out, hopefully before I paint it, or at least seal it, it's gonna be all out of there, because that's the one thing you don't want, is when you do paint, you don't want sand in it. So we're gonna jump right into it.